What movie is so freaking awesome that it has the Punisher, Superman, and Captain America all in the same movie? Well, the actors that played them at least. Stick around and find out. Today on the Bearded Movie Guy, the Bearded Movie Guy looks at the most requested movie review of all time for the Bearded Movie Guy does. Brought to you by the Bearded Movie Guy. Hi, I'm the Bearded Movie Guy, and I'm here to make you think about movies and get happy and stuff.
This is the beginning of the song.
I hear the voices, and the voices, the lyrical, the feminine of this soon. Reaching my threshold, staring at the truth till I'm blind. My body is stupid, stereo.
Scott Pilgrim vs. The World. This has been one of the most requested videos from my friend Bear, who is editing this video. So here we go. Scott Pilgrim vs. The World. Directed by Edgar Wright, set in Toronto, my hometown. Let's go over a quick plot. Scott Pilgrim vs. The World is about Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim is a guy from Toronto. He's 22 years old. He plays in a band called Sex-bob-omb, and he's dating a 17-year-old girl named Knives Chow. She's Chinese. He's in a band trying to make it happen, and then in a dream, he sees a girl rollerblading through his dream. Then he sees that same girl at a party that night. Coincidence? No. She actually uses his dream to get through subspace stuff with America. I don't know. It's an American thing compared to a Canadian thing. She uses his dreams to get places faster on rollerblades, basically. So, Scott Pilgrim meets this girl. Her name is Ramona. Ramona is played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And she is very cool. She has purple hair, I think, at the beginning, because she changes it every week and a half or so. Blue and green end up in the movie later. And she seems ultra cool, and he is ultra geeky around her and doesn't know what to do, but he likes her a lot. And they end up kind of going out. The only problem with this is, if you want to date Ramona, you have to defeat her 7 evil exes. He doesn't really know this because he didn't check his email properly. He just kind of got bored and skimmed the email that told him he was going to fight 7 guys. Well, exes. Not all guys.
Wait! We're fighting over Ramona?
Didn't you get my email explaining the situation?
I skimmed it.
You will pay for your insolence!
And that's the movie. It's basically about Scott and Ramona and him having to fight 7 evil exes. End of video. Alright, let's talk about this movie. This movie is so freaking original. It is out of your mind, crazy, awesome, great. Other words that are really for smart things that I can't think of. Edgar Wright directs it. He's the guy from Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead and At World's End. He really knows how to cut and edit and make things happen. He uses sound effects, he uses visual cues, he uses things like the phone ringing and it actually says ring on the screen. And sound effects, the sound in Scott Pilgrim, like the sound design and sound editing and all that kind of stuff, is next to nothing. It's incredible. And it's really based in music because Scott's in a band named Sex-bob-omb. They have a battle of the bands they got to go to, and there's other bands they play against, and he's close to my heart because Michael Cera, who plays Scott Pilgrim, has a few things going for him for me. Number one, he's from Toronto. I'm from Toronto, roughly, kind of. He is very smart. Well, okay, let's skip that one. He plays bass. I play bass. I'm a bass player. And I've eaten at the same pizza he has in the movie, which is awesome. Pizza is a Canadian company. I don't know if the Americans have that or not. So it has a lot of Canadianisms in it. There's Second Cup instead of Starbucks, which we have Tim Hortons also. And they go to Pizza right outside of Honest Ed's warehouse, which is all Toronto stuff. And yeah, this movie is super original. Like, it's just the story. It's based on a comic book that I've never read, but my friend Bear, who's editing this video, tells me that it's very close to the comic book, and it's his favorite movie, so that's why I'm reviewing it today. Plus, it's really frickin' good. This movie takes a lot of cues from video games. So there's a lot of video game sound effects, little things pop up on the screen. When Scott Pilgrim goes pee, his pee meter goes down to 0, which is just, it's visually hysterical. And he gets a life later on, which comes in handy near the end. And did I mention the music? Sex-bob-omb actually has some pretty good songs. Because Sex-bob-omb is actually in there as part of the movie, and their songs are actually pretty catchy, the whole thing works real well together. The music of the background music and the music of the actual band all flow really well. And there's a bass battle between Superman and Scott Pilgrim. How much more epic do you need? Let's come to the fight with the evil exes. Part of this plot is, if Scott wants to date Ramona, he has to fight evil exes. There's 7 of them. Now, I'm not going to get into all the fights. I'm not going to talk about everything. What I will talk about is, yes, one of the fights is with Chris Evans, Captain America. They fight in a very particular place in Toronto, which is very famous, called Castle-Loma, which, if you're an X-Men fan, was used in the very first X-Men movie as Professor X's mansion. Geek out all you want. So he fights him. I'm not going to mention anything more about that. It's pretty darn cool. Then later on, he has a bass battle and fights against one of other Ramona's exes, which is Brandon Routh. Which, although he's not the best Superman, still, he played Superman. And it's not his fault that that movie wasn't great. He actually did an okay job. So yeah, he fights Superman. It's not fair because Brandon Routh's character is a vegan, which gives him superpowers. And then he, I'm just going to say he gets in trouble, and the Punisher, Thomas Jane, and Cliff Collins Jr., I believe his name is, come and they're the vegan police, which is just hysterical, and arrest him. That's all I'm saying.
Freeze! Vegan police! Vegan police! Todd Ingram, you're under arrest for veganity violation. Code number 827.
And he gets headbutted into 1,000,000 quarters. Or 4,000, I'm not sure, I can't remember. Yeah, did I mention when you beat an evil ex, they turn into a bunch of quarters? It's a really fun way of not showing blood on a film. Be awesome if it happened more in other films. Just saying. Kill Bill? That'd be a lot of quarters. And of course there's the boss battle, where Scott pulls 2 swords out of his chest. It's cool. What more can I say about this movie? This movie's not for everyone. It's not for kids. It's not for older people. Like, my father would not watch this movie. It would drive him nuts. But if you have played video games and had any fond memories of it, if you like fun, popular rock music, if you have a sense of humor, if you have a pulse and you're over the age of 12, you're probably going to like this movie a lot. What more can I say about Scott Pilgrim? It's original, it's funny, it's smart, it's witty. There's a scene where a girl keeps swearing and there's a black bar that comes over her mouth, yet he knows it and he doesn't understand how she's doing it.
Jobs, something a f***ball like you wouldn't know anything about. And by the way, I can't believe you asked Ramona out after I specifically told you not to do that.
How are you doing that with your mouth?
Never mind how I'm doing it.
It's trippy, it gives you good feelings and makes you warm all in the heart place. Overall, this movie is a 5-beer digital 8-bit awesome video game movie. It doesn't get much better than this for what it is. Again, not for everyone. Some people are going to hate this movie, but it is so well made, so well acted. Michael Cera's best movie. He's always going to be Scott Pilgrim for most people. If he's not, if you don't know him from Superbad and stuff. But this is the movie that people will look back and go, yeah, he was Scott Pilgrim. Check this movie out. You have to watch this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, watch it. If you have seen this movie, watch it again. And if you're really lucky, you'll get to buy the metal. This is the metal tin case with the double DVD. Scott Pilgrim vs. The World. 5 beards, everyone. It's a movie you gotta see if you like movies. If you like the cinema in any way, you should watch this movie. Till next time, stay bearded, everyone. You've been watching The Bearded Movie Guy. What do you think? Are you gonna watch Scott Pilgrim vs. The World? You should, Even if you watched it, watch it again and 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 again. Sorry, I got stuck with an 8-bit glitch. And as always, subscribe, Twitter, do all that Facebooky stuff. I don't understand, because I'm not like that. And as always, YouTube safely.